Welcome to Tsamba KuMwana Wangu. And on Tsamba KuMwana Wangu in the year of 2026, we are focusing on a theme that we call a war against the war. Hondo Yekurwisa Hondo Yangu. We picked this particular theme for this year, having realized that many a time we're trying to fight wars so that we can be successful in this life. Many a time we're trying to fight so that we come out on top. But quite usually, we're fighting the wrong enemy. Because most of the time, the enemy that we should really be fighting is the enemy within ourselves. It's an enemy who lives inside of us, not anywhere else. It's not our brother, it's not our sister, it's not our neighbor, it's not our colleague at work. The worst enemy we should be fighting is the enemy who resides within. If we are capable of conquering the enemy who stays within us, we will be able to conquer any other external enemy. So thank you very much for choosing the time to listen to Tsamba KuMwana Wangu. And today's episode is titled The War of Forgiving Yourself. The War of Forgiving Yourself. Hondo Yekurwisa iwewe pachako. Let me first say this to you. We understand that we are doing this as a pathway to healing, because we faced different things in life. We have fought different wars in life, and we have been left in pain. And all we are trying to do is find healing. But you cannot heal if you keep punishing yourself forever. If you keep blaming yourself, if you keep beating yourself, healing will be very far away from you. So last week we spoke about the war of letting go. We reflected on how healing sometimes requires us to release what no longer serves us, what no longer belongs in our lives. But there's something that many people then tend to forget. Sometimes the hardest person to let go of is the older version of you. Sometimes we're trying to let go of exes. Sometimes we're trying to let go of toxic partners. Sometimes we're trying to let go of toxic bosses at work. Sometimes we're trying to let go of toxic neighbors even. But if we will introspect in our lives, the hardest person to let go of is the old version of ourselves. Now, there are people, different people, and maybe you might be one of them, maybe I might be talking to you, who did things in their lives. After doing things, you sought for forgiveness from other people, and the people genuinely forgave you in ways that you could see that you have been forgiven. Where people did not give you opportunities before because of what you did, people start to give you opportunities as a sign that they have forgiven you. You're part of them now, you're part of the team now. People start to show you love that they didn't show you before because they have forgiven you. You can testify, you can feel it. You have been forgiven. But then still, in that essence, you do not feel like you have forgiven yourself. Whilst everybody else has forgiven you, you struggle to forgive yourself. You still replay that wrong decision that you made a while ago that made everything to go asunder. You still replay that business failure. You still replay that mistake that you made maybe as a parent, and you think you ruined your son's or your daughter's life. You still regret that opportunity that you lost. You still replay that in your mind. You still regret that moment that you wish you could go back and change. And when you meet us, you smile every day, you smile in public, you look happy, but privately within yourself, you keep putting yourself in court. You keep putting yourself on trial. You keep beating yourself. You keep torturing yourself. Could this be you? Could you be the person that I am addressing in this moment? The truth about life is every lesson that we learn in life, we learned through a mistake. Sometimes it is our own mistake, and sometimes it is other people's mistake. But every lesson that we're learning, someone tried it, failed, and we knew how to do it better. So I say this so that you could understand, so that you could get an appreciation that you don't need to keep putting yourself in court. You don't need to keep judging yourself on what you did. It was a moment of learning. You learned something, find that lesson, rise up on your feet, and let's go on with life. Life teaches us through mistakes. So this is what might happen in your life. Where you are supposed to learn, you cover yourself in shame. Because this is what shame does. Shame convinces us that we are the mistake. You see, what shame does is it comes to us and tells us we did not make a mistake. We are a mistake. We are the wrong person. If you find yourself in a toxic relationship, shame will come and tell you, you are the one who is wrong. There's something wrong with you. That is why you keep failing at relationships. If you did not do so well at a job and maybe you got fired, shame will come and tell you, there's something wrong about you. So instead of learning from the mistake, you start to put yourself through the courts. And it's a one-man court where you are the judge and the jury at the same time. Making a mistake is not a certificate that you are a failure in life. Making mistakes in life is the subtle reminder that you are still a human being. You're not yet a machine. You're not yet AI. And even AI makes mistakes. Maybe if we learn through examples, it would be more meaningful. In your mind, I want you to picture teaching a child how to walk, right? When you're holding a child's hands, osimuka omira, and the child stands on its 2 feet, and you start to sing de na na de, de na na de. When the child falls back to the ground, you don't mock the child for falling. More too often, we laugh about it. We say, Simuka, Simuka, rise up, rise up. We do that, right? In an effort to encourage the child to realize they are not yet capable of walking, but they carry the potential. They can walk. Same thing with you. As you're going through life, once in a while, you will fall. Cheer yourself up, day na day. And when you fall, Simuka, 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 rise up. And we rise, we move, we go on with life. The reason why you keep punishing yourself, the reason why you keep bullying yourself, the reason why you keep telling yourself you are a failure is the same reason why you are not progressing as much as you would want in life. If you will stop blaming yourself and start using every fall as a learning tool, you will learn a lot of things in this life, and I tell you, you will never remain the same person. The first thing that you need to do as you hear this message, you need to start considering forgiving yourself. Like we have spoken in this message, you might have done things and people forgave you about it, but if you do not forgive yourself, you wouldn't go anywhere. You wouldn't go anywhere. So forgiving yourself is not pretending that nothing happened. Yeah, I'm not asking you to look away and say, nothing ever happened. That's not forgiving yourself. It's not pretending that nothing happened. It's accepting what happened, but then finding the lessons in what happened. And you refuse to let what happened define you. You see, if you fall once, you're not a failure. You're someone who fell. Don't let failure define you. Don't let your mistakes define you. You are not a mistake. You made mistakes, but you are not the mistake. And you need to let that sink in. There are people who have spent a lot of years paying emotional payments for a mistake that took only 10 minutes to make. That is too high a price. Your past should be your teacher, not your prison. You shouldn't let your past hold you captive. Own your mistake. Be accountable for what you did, but without you being the mistake. Take responsibility without you losing your identity. Ask yourself the question, now that I have realized my errors, now that I've realized my mistakes, now that I've realized where I was not doing it right, what am I learning from this experience? Speak to yourself the way you would speak to someone who is learning. Imagine you were a teacher and you are teaching a child a math problem and it's their first time to learn maths. Treat yourself the way you would treat that child. You wouldn't call that child a zero for, you wouldn't call that child a total failure because they failed that one problem, because they are still trying to learn mathematics. Be kind to yourself. Be gentle to yourself. Understanding that you are still in the learning process. You're growing in life. You're making steps towards where you want to go to. You can't learn it all in one day. You deserve that same compassion that a teacher would give a student. Give yourself that. Maybe you have been carrying this guilt for a long time, and maybe no one sees that you're carrying guilt. You have apologized to people. Maybe you have changed your ways. Maybe you feel like you have grown, but you still feel that you have not given yourself permission to move forward. Maybe today is that day, because healing is not only about receiving forgiveness from other people. Healing is also believing that you are worthy of a new beginning and forgiving yourself so that you give yourself room to enjoy that new beginning. And maybe this is the gentle truth that you might need to hear right now. You can't rewrite your past. We keep saying that. We have always said that. But you can choose not to let that past define the rest of your story. This is today's edition of Tsamba KuMwana Wangu. Do not beat yourself over and over again for mistakes that you did in the past. You are not the mistake. You made a mistake, but you grew out of it. You're a different person now. What lesson did you learn from that mistake that you made? Thank you for choosing Tsamba KuMwana Wangu. And we do this again next Monday. If you want to listen to this message again, please check it out. It will be on the Ndini Baba Vako YouTube channel later on today, sometime in the afternoon. Thank you very much for choosing Star FM Zimbabwe. We appreciate you. You can live stream us on www.starfm.co.zw as we do Zimtulikazi, 100% homegrown music in the month of July, celebrating our own.